I have been extremely shy and introverted up until I was 20 years old, and I'm 22 right now. For most of my life, especially my teenage years, I have rarely ever started a conversation with someone, and if someone approached me, I would try to end it as soon as I could. I would always stumble and stutter over my words, or I would just choke up because I did not know what to say, and the more that I tried to think of what to say or how to make a conversation better, that overthinking just led to a bland and boring conversation. And because of this, if I ran into these people again in school or in the street, or we were just passing by, they would act as if they had never seen me before. And all of these sort of negative reactions and these negative consequences that came from avoiding conversations or just being bad at conversations overall has really taken a toll on me up until I was 20. Because of this, I've missed out on potential friendships, on potential relationships, just on potential stories that I could have had that would have just added so much more to my life. And the reason that I'm making this video is that I know that many of you watching can relate to this in some way, that you want to be able to have more friends, or you want to be able to have more of a dating or just overall social life, but you are just not good at conversations, or you just have overall social anxiety. And with that being said, no matter what you want in life, whether it be more money, a better job, more friendships, just a more social life, it starts with other people. But in order for us to depend on other people, it all starts with a conversation. The main thing that really changed my life and actually improved my ability to conversate with other people came from taking action. All of the information I'm providing in this value, I have literally created from my own brain that has come from my own experiences. So all that I ask is, one, that you share this video with anyone who you think might need it, but two, please comment below that you're going to take action. So without further ado, let's get right into this presentation. As you can see by the title of this video, I'm giving you 3 ways to level up your conversation skills. You will quickly see that the first 2 steps have nothing to do with the physical words that come out of your mouth, because I think they influence what you say. That is only the 3rd step. On top of that, I've also included bonus tips, as I always do in all of my videos, and I think the bonus tips provide a lot of valuable information, so I do recommend you stick around till the end of this video and watch that. But nonetheless, let's get right into the presentation. So in step 1, in order to have better conversations or to level up your social skills, is to firstly improve your physical looks / body language. When you do this, it is going to make you more confident, and when you are confident, it affects your body language. Body language is absolutely critical in terms of having conversations. Body language affects how you say things rather than what you say. And the reason I say this is how you say something is so much more important than what you say. For example, the word hey can be said in 30 different ways. The way that you say the word hey can offer so many different meanings that the word hey itself isn't important. It's how you say hey. So for example, hey, hey, hey. Those 3 ways. The first one was kind of like, hey, nice to meet you. The second one was like a monotone hey, like you're seeing a friend that you always see. And the third one was an aggressive hey to get someone's attention. So how you say something is super important. And when you physically look a certain way and you look better, it just naturally affects the way that you do and say things. And when you're confident, you can enter something called social flow a lot easier. When you enter social flow, you are able to become immersed in the social setting around you. And when you're confident, you are able to enter this immersion of the social setting a lot easier. Think about it. It's the exact opposite when you're anxious or you're afraid of large crowds or you're afraid of socializing. You're unable to enter social flow because it's scary. You're overthinking. But when you're relaxed, you're confident, you're able to enter the social flow a lot easier, which affects how you say things and makes you just overall better at conversations. So how do you improve your physical looks and body language? The very first thing that you can do to improve your looks is to go to the gym and to looks max. If you don't know what looks maxing is, it's as the word suggests, but there's so many YouTube videos about what this is. The second step right here is actually more in regards to body language. So for example, if you're entering a social setting or you're entering a party or you're entering something, walk extra slow. Make all of your movements more fluid and more slow. You walk slowly, it portrays confidence. And when you portray confidence, again, it's going to affect the way that you speak and the way that you have conversations. When you're relaxed and you're basically acting like you're the guy, conversations are going to be so much easier. And if you're sitting down, take as much room as possible and never hunch over. That is going to affect your overall personality. Think about it. When you're stressed or you're anxious, you end up usually shaking your leg or you're hunched over, or your hands are clenched, these are all signs that you're not confident. And if you're not confident, that's going to affect how you speak, that's going to affect how you conversate. And lastly, in terms of clothing, wear fitted clothes that suit your style and personalities. Obviously, in order to wear fitted clothes, you kind of need to have a better body, which can be achieved by going to the gym. Second step that I promise no guru or no socializing coach talks about is to improve your mental health. Your mental health affects everything. It affects your perception of life as a whole, and socializing is definitely a big part of it. When you are in a good mental space up here, it allows thoughts and creativity to come out a lot easier. You don't have to force it when you have good mental health. When you have poor mental health, you have to overthink a lot. You have to second guess yourself a lot. You doubt yourself. But when you're in just a good mental place, thoughts and creativity come out a lot easier. And that's super, super important when it comes to having conversations. The last thing you want to do is be sitting there, like literally actively thinking what to say. And a good way to practice this is that meditating will actually quiet the voices that are up here and reduce the anxiety that is in your body. And because of this, it's much easier to enter a social flow state, as I had mentioned in the previous slide. And with that being said, once you reduce your anxiety, it will also make you more confident because you care about rejection a lot less. A huge reason that why people are afraid to even start conversations, or a reason that people are afraid, like they don't know what to say when it comes to approaching a new person or a girl, for example, it's because they are afraid of rejection. And lastly, stop doing things that will ruin your mental health. You know exactly what they are. So for example, like I've written here, keep your screen time to less than 2 hours a day. I'll show you right now. It is 6 p.m. and my phone is only at an hour and 37. Oh, sorry, that just went up to an hour and 42. But you can see that 30 minutes, I don't know if you can see that, but 30 minutes are literally dedicated to the camera right here, which I've literally recorded my video above. So actually I'm only at an hour and 10 minutes and I've been awake since 8 p.m. So I've been awake for 10 hours and I've really only used my phone for an hour of the day. So by the time that I sleep, I would have only used my phone really for 2 hours. Work out often, as I always say in all of my videos, you'll just feel better. And lastly, this is something that I have to do myself. I've been slacking a little bit. Eat very cleanly. Food dictates everything. Think about how you feel after you eat a very heavy or processed meal. You don't feel good. You don't feel energetic. But on the reverse side, if you do eat well and you eat cleanly, it's going to make you feel better, be less anxious. You're going to be more confident. And what happens when you have those things? You're going to have better conversations. It's that simple. This is the juicy part of this video, and this actually relates to the physical words that come out of your mouth, and that is break the conversation box. What I mean by this is that we have been put into a conversation box that we literally don't know what to say besides, hey, what's up, and have literally the other person carry the conversation. Or be honest with yourself. Are you one of those guys on Hinge or on Tinder that when you get a match, you literally just say, hey, or what's up? I can't blame you because you have literally been put into this box that I'm talking about. Hey, what's up? Or what did you do this weekend? Super superficial and basic questions that no one actually cares about and actually just makes you seem boring and unattractive. And the way that you get out of this is by breaking out of this box and crossing the line. And when I say cross the line, quick disclaimer, please don't say something outlandish or say something like disrespectful, especially if you're talking to girls. Be respectful. But what I mean by crossing the line is like I said, you've been put into this box of things that you know you can't say or you shouldn't say because you've been convinced that girls want to be spoken to very nicely and stuff like that. But this is where the nice guys finish last analogy comes into play. You try to be too nice or you just always try to say the right thing. Guys and girls overall just don't like this, but girls especially do not like this. If you're always just trying to be a people pleaser, girls do not like this especially. But overall, if you're just always in the middle, you're never picking a side on something, or you're just not polarizing on anything, you just become forgetful and boring. So I've given you a few examples right here. Instead of asking, if you're in school, instead of asking where are you from or what's your major, if you're talking to like a new guy that you're trying to make friends with, or if you're trying to talk to a girl, you can say something along the lines of, so when you're not bullshitting during the day, what actually excites you. What's wrong with saying this? You've been put into a box of things that you can say and things you cannot say. But that is literally the opposite of what people are attracted to or how people want to be spoken to. I promise you, you've never said this to someone and no one has said this to you. What if you just said something kind of outlandish like this to someone? They are going to be so much more attracted to you because you actually have somewhat of a personality. Another example, serious question, but there's only one right answer. Is pineapple on pizza acceptable? What's wrong with asking a question like this? Instead of saying what's up to someone, what if you just ask this? No one has been spoken to this way, and people are dying to be spoken to this way because it shows that you have personality. It shows that you're different. It shows that you're unique. And this last one right here, I am not saying that I did or did not say this. This is just something that I wrote. Again, I take no credit for this, but if, for example, you're in a club setting and a girl that you're trying to speak to is on her phone, what if you just walked up to her and instead of saying, hey, you're so beautiful, or hey, you caught my attention, what if you just said, he didn't text? Like, it's stuff like this that I'm talking about, just crossing the line, pushing the boundary a little bit, like creating some tension in between people. People love this. And I know it takes a little bit of practice and it takes confidence to be able to just say things like this, but that's where the first two come in. The first two steps are taken care of, such as actually improving your physical looks or improving your mental health. It's going to improve your confidence. And if you really don't know what to say, give some of these examples a try. And as always, I like to give bonus tips in all of my videos, and this is where I think I keep most of my gems. Firstly, talk slower. When you talk slower, you seem like you know what you're talking about and people are more inclined to listen. When you talk really fast and it's just sporadic and all over the place, you just seem like you have anxiety and stress. No one wants to be around those people, so slow it down. Secondly, if you have no idea what to say, talk about what is going on in immediate surroundings. So for example, if you're in a party or a social setting, you can say, this DJ sucks, right? You can say something along the lines of, yo, this music is so good. Or something about what they're wearing. If they're wearing something that stands out, oh, you have really nice shoes. But make sure you talk about what's immediately going around. If you're talking about something like, for example, where are you from or what's your major, that's neither here nor there. And this is something that I had to literally learn the hard way. By asking boring and generic questions, no one was actually intrigued to listen about that. But when you talk about what's immediately going around, people are actually usually really receptive to this. So make sure you talk about the setting that you're in. And thirdly, understand your audience or the type of people you are talking to. Like if you're in a professional networking event, the types of conversations or the way that you speak to people there is going to be different than how you speak to people at a party, for example. So the types of words that you use or the way that you speak, you have to be aware of that and speak to these types of people differently. And lastly, again, it just has to do with consistency and what I literally just said of just practicing. I need to work on this too. I can find myself literally just locked in my room, always just saying that I'm working on something or I'm trying to level up, which I actually am. I am doing these things, but then I'll find myself completely neglecting my social side of life and actually trying to level up my conversation. Again, I need to work on this too, but try to make sure that you at least have one new conversation a day. Go out there and actually practice and you'll see how your life levels up. So as always, I hope you got a ton of value from this video. And if you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.